Hey, what up, guys? This is Jordan for my guy Joshua from Hipronary School. I really hope you're doing wonderful. I just finished an interview carried out by a couple of friends from the United States, and I decided to jot down the most useful phrases and verbs that I used during the interview. So this will help you to understand a little more the whole conversation. And why? Because I didn't caption the video, so please don't get mad at me and take this as an invitation or avail yourselves of this opportunity to train your ear, okay? The first phrase I used was to catch somebody on the hop. Okay, that phrase means to surprise somebody by doing something when they are not expecting it and not ready for it. Not your cup of tea. When something is not your cup of tea, you don't like it. It's something that you are not interested in. And to be the spitting image. Okay, you can use this phrase when you look very like somebody or something else. Bob's your ankle. Bob's your ankle. This phrase is used to say how quick and easy it is to do something or a particular task. To spread your wings, okay, to be or to become confident and independent in order to try new things, okay. To toil away. This phrasal verb means to work very hard on something. To coax. To coax means to persuade somebody to give you something, especially money. To spill the beans, to tell somebody something that should be kept secret or private, let alone used after a statement, in order to emphasize that because the first thing that you mentioned is not true or possible, the next thing that you mentioned cannot be true or possible either. Throw the baby out with the bathwater. A useful phrase. It means to lose something at the same time. It means to lose something that you want at the same time that you are trying to get rid of something that you don't want. And finally, the verb to moonlight. It means to have a second job. And that's it. So I'm gonna play the video, and please enjoy, smash the like button, and let a lot of good vocabulary.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Alicia Lewis, and I'm here with Josh Woods, and we are interviewing Joshua. So we are super excited to have Joshua here with us this evening to discuss his platform and why he decided to run. So Joshua, if you just want to give us a little bit of background and then just tell everyone what made you decide to run his platform.
Well, first and foremost, I'm so glad to be here, Alicia and Josh. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of Emmanuel, and this truly yours. And if I can recall well, Emmanuel and I came up with this platform or this idea in general after noticing a lack of accurate and real-world scenarios regarding the call center environment. Despite there was a lot of good content through the internet, and this content wasn't necessarily reflecting the real thing. And as you might understand, in the real world, not everything is pink color. And what we found in these videos was that the customer was always nice towards the agent and very polite and patient, while the agent knew everything. And everything turned out to be manageable and easy to pin down, so perfect, so realistically perfect. And so there was never an actual problem, and this is not how the real call centers work. Probably 7 out of 10 calls will give you a headache, and we wanted to portray this in order to help people to understand the whole system.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I want to go ahead and piggyback off what you were talking about. So you saw, one of the things you talked about was education and what you want to see change with education. What are some changes that you think you want to see happen with education to help better support our students and better support our teachers?
You caught me on the hop with that question, Josh. I deem important the fact of taking seriously the whole learning process. Grammar is not my cup of tea, so I recommend my students to ignore it. And I only wish teachers stopped emphasizing the grammar rules. Grammar only hampers, in my experience, this is talking from my experience, and grammar only hampers the learning experience. And we all should learn a language like we did as a baby. You know, committing mistake after mistake, and this will help teachers and students to have some fun while teaching and learning respectively.
So Joshua, continuing with the topic of education, well, talk to me a little bit about ways that we can improve that pay gap, and then at the same time, as we are improving those pay gaps, how we can incentivize teachers for staying in this area, especially as they graduate from higher education.
Well, I want to cite Emmanuel as an example here because he's a teacher, by vocation and profession. So, I do really think that you need to find your passion and stick to it, like Emmanuel did. If you do what you enjoy, you will be happy and you will be able to help a lot of good people out there. I remember feeling like quitting at the beginning because we weren't getting the views we wanted, and we thought to ourselves, are we doing the right thing? And we totally overlooked our real motivation, our students. So we were there about to give up, willing to give up, but then we decided to upload one last video before quitting. And that day the planets aligned and our timing was perfect. And we got 2,000 views the first week. So, in conclusion, you shouldn't give up. And remember your motivation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. Continue on the topic of education. I think one topic of education that a lot of people might sometimes overlook is there's a study that I read somewhere, and I think I can find the link and post it in the chat, that says he is one of the lowest, or one of the schools that gives the lowest funding to our arts education. What are ways so we can start improving our arts education?
Okay, I know this school is advancing lots of funds and everything, but I'm really happy with our content and results. In my case, I'm the spitting image of my father in every single aspect. And since he helped a lot of people out there, of course in other field, but he did, well, I decided to give something back to our community and help people regarding the call center industry. Emmanuel and I hit it off from the beginning, and it turned out that even though we were so different, we enjoy helping others and treating them like our own family. And since we consider them as our own family, we decided to share our knowledge and time in order to facilitate the best tools and content that they can resort to when needed in order to find a job. And Bob's your uncle.
So Joshua, I know you said that family is very important to you. Community is very
Absolutely.
important to you. Those are two things that are very, very important to me as well. And so I feel like a lot of times we have people that are running on the principles of family and community, but they typically run on the principle of their family and their community. So tell me a little bit about your plans to strengthen and community as a whole to make sure that every family unit, no matter what that family unit looks like, is getting the resources and support that they need to help strengthen the Alcoa community.
Well, in order to achieve that, we need to work harder and harder and spread our wings to different content. That's the reason why we are working in our bilingual channel, Spanish English channels to be precise. And we are also working in a news channel where we are uploading videos regarding different topics so people will be able to learn new vocabulary regarding other scenarios aside from the call center industry. And we are also toiling away in order to bring content for kids and our older folks. So we as a whole will be able to invite our family to get part of this English learning community. So that's basically our plan.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. So, I'm sorry, my question just slipped from my mind. So
happened to me.
I'm sorry, what was the previous question on?
Community and family.
Community, right, right. So one of the things, I'm sorry, I remember now. So one of the things I know that is impacting our community, the ability for a family to be able to afford, to have affordable education. What would you say to those communities, and what are some things that we can do to make changes to that?
Yeah, I know that there are a lot of sharks in the tank, coalmen, and people like K-landers who are totally unscrupulous and they only want to coax money out of their customers. That gets on my nerves, of course. And truth be told, these sort of people need to be exposed. Fortunately, Zach Morris spilled the beans and now people know everything about Kale's GD cars. This is affecting a lot of pockets, a lot of people's pockets, and that's not fair. And we need to provide tools and resources to people who in most cases don't even have a job, let alone money to afford an expensive course like that. So we need to offer trainings that actually help people in the learning process, but also economically speaking. And that's why Hipronary is committed to helping our community to grow up and get the results required in order to get a job in any bilingual position.
And so I think one way that we could start investing in people would be looking into a living wage. Could you talk a little bit more about what a living wage is versus what the minimum wage is?
Josh, we actually have had this debate multiple times in our comment section. And this generates a lot of controversy because this varies from a country to other. So this is a really tough question. What I can actually say is that in most countries, call centers' wages are rewarded handsomely. I don't want to venture in this swamp of debates because I don't want to say something that is not true and raise people's hopes unnecessarily by giving you my opinion on something that I don't really know. I have received feedback from Colombia, Mexico, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Emmanuel and I jumped to the conclusion that the wages depend on the inflation of every single country, but in general, call center salaries are well paid, taking into consideration the country's inflation individually. So you should give it a try. You should give it a try, of course. Some people say bad things about this industry, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Give it a try. You won't regret it.
Right, I understand. So I think what you're talking about is very correct. It's very hard to live having a full-time job, especially now during a pandemic. And so what a lot of Americans are talking about and hoping on is a second stimulus check. What are your opinions on issuing a second stimulus check, and do you think that it is possible for them to do so?
Well, in my case, I used to moonlight every single day, and it was profitable indeed. As always, this will depend on the capacity of every single person. If you are not in good condition to do so, well, don't do it. But if you are cut out for moonlighting, don't think it twice. In a call center, your supervisor will always need a hand to cover different shifts and stuff. So you can work overtime in your own company without needing to moonlight in other places or jobs. But if you wanna do something different, well, moonlighting is your best option. But please bear in mind that your mental and physical stability is your most important asset. So don't sacrifice your health just to get a second check. Be responsible. Always be responsible. You are not a super soldier or something like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I believe, I believe that I'm just about out of questions. Alicia, do you have any other questions for Joshua?
I do not. Joshua, I'm so sorry. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you would like to kind of discuss? I know that we've been rapid firing questions at you, and I think sometimes it doesn't really give time to talk. And I know that it is very obvious that you are passionate about the Aqua community. So if there's anything else that you'd like to tell us about your plans, we would absolutely love to hear it.
No, no, no. Perhaps just to invite our viewers to subscribe to Hipronary School if they are not subscribed yet. Smash the like button, share the video. That will be awesome. And I want to say thank you for such amazing interview. Alicia, Josh, I do really appreciate your invitation. Next time I will bring Emmanuel to the discussion. And this was totally gnarly. Flames. It was flames.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming to talk with us, Joshua. It was a pleasure getting to speak with you today.
See you later.
Absolutely.
Bye.